I just did, yes.
Okay, we're set?
There we go. And, all right.
All right, bear with me here.
No, yeah, fine. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, here, the Protection of Policy meeting for February 25th in room 205. No, that's the council.
207.
207, thank you, is now in session. Let's do our roll call. Alder Stevens.
Here.
Alder Vanderleest.
Here.
Alder Stoyer.
Here.
Alder Scannell is also present. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. I'll take a motion to approve our agenda for February 25th, 2019.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Alder Vanderleest.
Second.
Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We now have an agenda.
So what you do is you just go to the next. Go ahead and click on that next one. And then click current. Yeah, okay.
Ready.
Okay. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes for our February 11th, 2019 Protection Policy meeting.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Alder Vanderleest. Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Our minutes are now approved for the record.
Okay.
Okay, to regular business. Number one, consideration with possible action on an application for an available Class B combination license by Zach's Action Pit Billiards Arena LLC at 1730 South Ashland Ave with a licensed premise description as first floor only bar restaurant area, kitchen and back storage room. Previously discussed at the January 7th Protection of Policy meeting, filed with the clerk's office on 12/12/2018. This came to our committee, as mentioned here, and we voted on it, and I believe it was unanimous that we passed it on to council to approve, and then I pulled it at council because I started feeling incredibly guilty that this is a project I really, really like, and at committee I kind of contorted my mind into getting behind it, but afterwards I just felt as an alder, my responsibilities, I was sort of turning my back on them, on what I felt where my duty lied, which was, as everyone, if you remember, they have to meet the threshold by law of their business having 54% of their business as a restaurant. And as much as I like what they're doing, I just don't think this project can generate, honestly, in my mind, 54% revenue from their kitchen. So that's why I sent it back, and I don't know if staff has anything else they want to add to this?
So Joanne did prepare some notes on this before she left, and it looks like at the last meeting you guys had talked about the idea of it being a restaurant. And it is by ordinance, charter ordinance, that the Fort Howard moratorium. The current definition of a restaurant under state statute has changed recently, so that it no longer has to be a predominant activity as serving food, they just have to serve food. But with that, when the charter ordinance was adopted back in 2005, the definition of a restaurant was that it had to be the principal activity. So we would look at that as, that was the interpretation and the intent when that charter ordinance was passed. Even though the definition of restaurant has changed since, recently, I think it was last year, we would look to the intent of when that charter ordinance was passed. So again, it doesn't, it says it has to be the principal activity, so it's kind of up to you guys how you want to proceed with that. But that was what the charter ordinance said, that unless it was a restaurant or a hotel, there was not, you couldn't have a liquor license in that moratorium area.
So if we should deny this, would they have a legal basis to say it was inappropriately denied?
I don't know that we would talk about that in open session.
Session, oh, okay. Maybe we should go into closed, well, we can't, that's not listed.
Right.
Yeah, okay. They are here. We can talk about, we'll open up the floor, but
And I will say, just to add, there is the charter ordinance in place, which is, set in stone. It hasn't been repealed or anything, so that is still active. And the committee does have broad leeway as far as granting liquor licenses. You know, it's a privilege, it's not a right, so it's a lot easier to deny a license up front than it is to go back and revoke it
Quick.
later on.
Yeah.
So just to remind you of those things.
Yes,
Thank you, Chair. I think, you know, your concerns are, you know, I know you brought those up, Randy, and those are legitimate. I think was more concerned, I know we voted unanimously on this, but I think one of my concerns was the original ordinance. And I guess my thought would be that if we approve this accordingly, that it'll open up Pandora's box as far as maybe other establishments wanting to get into the moratorium area. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now, a little bit. So I'd appreciate a little more discussion on that if we could. That's kind of where I'm at. So,
anything else before we open the floor? I'll take a motion to open the floor.
Motion to open the floor.
Motion to open the floor by Alder Vanderleest.
Second.
Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The floor is now open. Please come forward, state your name and address, and also make sure you fill out one of the forms there before you go to hand it to staff.
My name is Zach Markwart, 2834 Josephine Circle, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54311. So basically, I kind of wanted to go over the business plan with you guys a little bit. I am going way out of my way to make this into a restaurant, developing this property into a restaurant. With that being said, it's like our business plan, I spent a month straight putting that business plan together and doing the projections for the bank and stuff like that. And first year, the projections do say it will meet that ordinance. And then second year, it surpassed that by like 7 or 8%.
Did you have those, you didn't?
Yeah, I brought a copy of it.
Oh, yes, that'd be,
So these are,
thank you.
I think I sent over the business plan to, what was this?
Yes,
Alderman.
Alder Johnson
Yeah, John.
sent those. Yep.
Yeah, so first year it had said that we would basically meet that 56% requirement, and then second year was more around 61% or 62%. And that was before we had talked about maybe extending the dinner into dinner and stuff, like I was planning on doing more of a lunch-based restaurant. But after talking to you guys, like me and my wife decided that basically we would make a really good push to do the full dinner as well. That way we could definitely increase those projections to comply with that ordinance. So that was one thing we had talked about.
okay.
Everyone,
I don't know if
I forwarded that on to what Alder Johnson sent me. I forwarded that, that was a week or so, 2 weeks ago.
I don't know if I got.
I'm just looking for it now.
Yeah, I got,
Do you have a copy? Oh, you have one here.
Well, that and I can.
We're sending it right over.
Yep.
so this is kind of, like the description of our business plan a little bit as far as the verbiage and stuff, but we had mentioned that we were, I know I put together that, and then you guys were a little bit concerned I had some verbiage in there, like more snack type food at night, and that's what we kind of discussed, and we were planning on serving food at night, like more like leftovers and stuff, but then we had talked and we just said, well, if we gotta make it, basically increase those projections to meet the ordinance, whatever we can do to do that is fine with us, so.
So your menu, do you have a menu set?
Yeah, she has a menu put together and.
Did you bring that?
Do you have a copy?
Did you?
I don't have a copy here.
Yep.
Some of the business plan.
Yep.
She's got.
I like some of
she's
the things
got
you
a
want
bunch
to do
of
with even the
different
pool
Cuban-
end and, having
Yeah, it'd be a
those
cool
tournaments and
theme.
everything, that's,
Yeah, I know.
I really like what you want to do.
Yeah.
He likes that food.
Yeah, and yeah.
Not to mention, I just took out a $200,000 loan to develop the property, so I would like to continue kind of sticking to that business plan.
Well,
Any questions?
Well, I don't know if anybody had any concerns on the ordinance itself, the original ordinance.
Well, we left the floor open for,
Yeah.
So let's deal with that.
Let's continue with
yep.
that.
so
I have
do you
no
have
more
any-
questions.
No
right
more
now.
questions? Anything
Not-
else?
Not right now.
Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, if you have any questions about the projections and stuff and how I came up with
That
that, I
sheet.
can definitely answer.
That sheet, no film. Yes.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah,
Basically, like, the way I came up with all those projections, we went on like a per day, maybe a average, what we thought we could bring in as like lunch customers and then the dinner customers and stuff like that, and then put numbers based on like a per day and how many busy days we might feel like we could keep it like that, and that's how we came up with those projections.
I was wondering if you had done some marketing studies or on this type of restaurant in the area.
Yeah, I have some ideas for marketing and stuff like that. Like a lot of my buddies own pool halls and bigger pool halls and stuff like that, so I know what they do for marketing. And, we were planning on doing some radio advertising and stuff like that initially to get the word out right away. And then there's a billboard on our property, so I was planning on maybe renting that billboard for like 6 months and see how that does and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't done any.
Yeah.
I know I was talking with Lamar Sign Company and one of their marketing, one of their marketing people and stuff like that, and he was giving me all the numbers and whatnot. But they like to do like a blitz where you put your sign all over town, and they hadn't had too many people actually request to do like one sign for 6 months. Like a lot of people try to kind of move the signs around town, and they have a schedule that they stick to a
Is
lot of
there
times.
standalone signs or the digital type?
That's a standalone, like canvas. They print you out the canvas or whatever type. I know that. They do have digital signs around town now, but.
That's all I
I also had thought of an idea too, is like a lot of those numbers that we came up with, that's including my online streaming, which I'm planning on doing like video and actually like hiring pros to come in to play and then sell tickets to those shows basically. And a lot of those numbers are including generating sales from online streaming revenue and stuff like that. And I can, like, if you legally have to comply with that ordinance, I could separate that entity, which basically would take those projections, and I could alter those projections a lot by separating that entity.
uh-huh,
So I could remove,
yeah.
to meet the ordinance.
Right, yeah. I see what you're
So-
doing, yeah.
So if I remove that online stream revenue, that would make probably 70 or 80% of our sales would be from the food. So,
Yeah,
I don't know, that's just from a legal standpoint.
point, right, which is my, it's a duty to, it's my responsibility I took an oath to uphold the law.
Yeah.
So that's been my
That
sticking
is-
point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little, it's just like one way we could approach the situation, to get the job done.
To get the
So,
job done.
Right.
I guess I have a question.
Yep.
How are you going to, well, you have, Action Pit Billards area. How are you
Arena,
gonna make
yeah.
people realize you're serving food?
It's gonna be on our signage, that basically oh, yeah. But basically, this is kind of like what we're gonna try to design our sign like. It's gonna be Zach's Action Pit and Christina's Cuban Cuisine. And then definitely plan on advertising it as serving food like that, so.
And Christina's Cuban Cuisine is very alliterative. It comes off the tongue very nicely.
Yeah, it does. So.
I know we talked
And
about this last time.
Yeah, I know, I can't mount the sign up on the roof like that and stuff like that, but that's basically how I want to design the sign and,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I think it can overhang like 18 inches from the top of the roof or something like that, but I gotta redesign it, and I was working with Creative Sign over there in De Pere, and they fired one of their people that was working on my sign, so I was like, I called her up, and she was like, oh, talked to her for like 20 minutes, and then she's like, I can't really help you anymore. I was like, oh no, that's not good, but. So yeah, I gotta get another person working on the sign, but.
I have no questions.
Anything else you care to add?
If you don't have any questions, that's all I got so far.
Not right now. If we do, we'll open the floor again.
Okay.
What's your projected opening date if this passes?
I would say June. Yeah, our loan's all approved and everything like that, so I should be able to get this ball rolling pretty quick now.
Okay.
I was just waiting for some state-approved plans for my HVAC, and then that should be within a week or two. Getting a rooftop mounted furnace for that and stuff, so.
Okay, motion to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor.
right.
Thank you. By Alder Steuer. Second by Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the floor is now closed. Well, we've got some new information, both from staff, because I don't believe it came up at the committee last time that the definition of a restaurant had changed.
Can I say something?
Oh, sure, if you,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
sure, no, that's okay. We can open
Motion
it.
open the floor.
Motion to floor by Alder Steuer.
Second.
I just want to say
Second by
a
Alder
few
Stevens.
things.
Oh, we just got
We
to.
have to wait a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's open. Make sure you both fill out a form and, okay, yes?
Okay. Yeah,
State your name and address.
Cristiana Milan. I live at 2834 Josephine Circle.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that I've been here for 5 years, and I always work on restaurants. My uncle, he owns restaurants in Louisiana. I know how restaurants do, and we're definitely gonna try to make the numbers we have from the projections. So I was planning on doing food for all day. We're gonna have like hot plates where we're gonna store the food, and definitely sell it all day. So, yeah.
Okay. Good. Any questions for Christina? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to close the floor.
Motion to close the floor by Alder Steuer.
Second.
Second by Alder Vanderleest. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the floor is now closed. So, with all the new information we have, what is everybody thinking?
I think give them approval to get the business started. I think they're making a good faith effort in the investment that they're making, and it sounds like they got a business plan that they're working on. I say that we should give them a chance.
Yeah, they have been working on this for a while, and it seems like they're moving forward. I guess I got a little nervous when you said you got your loan, and it's not approved here yet, but that's always a challenge too, in case it doesn't. So
Government shutdown slowing me down.
well, right, I'm not saying that'll happen, I'm just saying that you gotta be careful that way too. But I think you've done a good job moving forward, and I did have some minor concerns about the ordinance, the moratorium in the entire area, but I think I can rest that on this one, so I'm fine with it.
Anything?
So,
No. Yeah, I'm very sorry that I feel like I've been jerking you around a little bit here. I approved, and then I got cold feet, and a very, very guilty conscience, because I felt like I was shirking my responsibilities for a plan that I loved your plan from the get-go. I just thought the location was just not gonna work because of the law.
Right.
And at committee, I kind of did some mental contortions and went with it, but then afterwards, the things started to fall apart on me, and I just, I take this job very seriously, and my duties and responsibilities very seriously, and I took an oath to uphold the law. It doesn't matter if I think what I think of the law. But I think the new definition, which I wasn't aware of, even though that's still dicey, I think with your plans, there's a good chance, even under the old law, you could still make this work. I know you've been working hard on this. I really appreciate all you're doing. So I guess I'm back to where I was before. Sorry, went full circle, but I support this now. I think I can get behind it with a clear conscience. I can sleep at night now.
Well,
So-
we're happy for that.
Yeah, me too. I was up a couple nights with this. Because I really like it, and but I just felt I couldn't do it. But I'm back with this new information. It really does help. I can sleep easy. Yeah. So I'll take a motion.
I thought, did you make?
My motion was to approve.
Okay.
Motion approved by Alder Vanderleest, second by Alder Stoyer. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Once again, it's unanimous, and I will not pull it.
Don't know about council.
Yep, but everything we do here again is contingent upon council approval. I don't know if anybody else will pull it. So, but once it passes council, you're being clear.
Okay.
So,
That's
Thank
next
you.
Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
at 6.
Tuesday?
6 o'clock in the room next door.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Hey, you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Good luck.
Yep, good luck.
He'll be your first customer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All set.
all set. Consideration of possible action with action on request by Alder Vanderleest stating any vehicle stolen in City of Green Bay, Wisconsin, that the Green Bay Police Department recovers. The person owning the vehicle or truck pays towing fee related to the vehicle. Fee paid to the Green Bay Police Department. I do not recommend any fine imposed on the person whose vehicle was stolen. Okay, right. So this was brought up with the dangling key ordinance, but it really is a separate issue because it's broader than just the dangling keys. It covers, so it really needed to be its own communication. I have not heard any feedback on this. I thought people would be they're all up in arms over the dangling key, but they're not all up in arms about being, paying for a towing fee if their car is stolen, so, anything from staff?
There is. We would ask that this be referred back to staff. It looks like there is a state statute that prohibits the city from charging this kind of fee. So it says that we can charge for any abandoned vehicle except a stolen vehicle.
Aha.
So we did reach out to the league and some other municipalities. We're just waiting to hear back from them and the Department of Transportation just to verify that it prohibits us from doing this kind of thing, but that's what it's looking like. So we would ask that you just refer it to staff, give us a little bit of time to look into it for sure.
Okay, I'd recommend we refer it back to staff.
Okay.
Try to get that fee that we can,
Right.
the Green Bay Police Department can collect that fee and recoup some of their
Losses.
losses.
Yeah, okay, motion by Alder Vanderleest to refer to staff,
Second.
second by Alder Stoyer. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All set.
We're set. Liquor violation report by the police department for February 25th, 2019.
There were no violations.
I feel like I gotta go out there and do something. I don't know.
Motion
Please
to,
don't.
motion to receive and place. on
Motion to
file.
receive and place on file by Alder Stoyer.
Second.
Second by Alder Alder Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? With that moratorium ordinance, should we look at changing it to meet the latest, is that something we should be looking at perhaps? Or what would we need to, would I need to put in a communication?
Yes. And we can talk about what that would be. I mean, I would imagine it's just something like reviewing the charter ordinance to see if it meets with what your intentions are currently.
That might be a good thing to do.
Yeah,
I'll put
'cause I'm afraid of,
Yeah, I don't wanna,
that's part of the issue.
Right.
Yep.
I know the revised definition of restaurant caused a lot of issues for a lot of municipalities.
Yeah. Okay, we'll end up putting in that communication. Anything else? Well, I guess we're done. Motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
by Alder Steuer. Second by Alder Vanderleest. You'll second that one, huh? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Good work.